Welcome to Orlando Speed World for the second annual Truckers 200, brought to you by Rick Bristol and a host of many other sponsors that's donated a lot of their time and money to help a worthy cause. And we'll be right back with Rick Bristol. I tell you what, Rick Bristol, second annual Truckers 200. You're a hard man to find. You're very busy, and we watched you race a little bit last night. And but anyway, tell us about this young lady that this cause is all about.
Well, this is Kaylee Helmick and her family, Bob and Misty, and they've been through a lot this past year. Danny's cured, which is good. But the Helmicks have lost their home. They've had to file bankruptcy to try to keep up with the bills. So everything that we raise is going to go to helping them, and so. They're a good family and they just need a little help right now.
Yeah, the medical bills on some of these ill children can be astronomical.
Well, the problem was she spent the first, out of the first 5 months of her life, she was in the hospital mostly for that. So you know the bills have to be unbelievable. She was in intensive care all that whole time. So I'm sure they're just astronomical. So what we raise obviously is not going to pay it all, but it'll help them. And you know, Mrs. Hopkins said from last year that she was able to pay some of the bills. They were able to give the kids a nice Christmas and stuff.
What this is all about.
But she said the support and the prayer and just knowing that people cared was what did it for them. So that's what we want to do. We just want to support them and we'll help them with all we can.
Well, we know we got some very big names that you brought on board for this event. Tell us about some of the big names.
Well, first of all, Biscayne Roofing, Mr. Lang, he stepped up big time and sponsored the title deal. Mr. Cohen with Ram Transport, he was going to sponsor the kids' truck race. It unfortunately had to be canceled due to an insurance change, but his money's still going into the family.
Right.
Commercial Services sponsored a strictly stock race last night. I mean, it's just amazing the people that have stepped up to help, and I can't remember all the names, and I hate to leave people out.
Right,
but, those are the major contributors to what's going on. Of course, Speed World donating the track again.
Yep.
Robert Hart and Rusty Marcus and the folks here, I appreciate them very much.
The whole staff's donated.
Have done
time
all
as well.
The volunteer officials. Everybody here is here because it's in their heart and they want to help. So that's what it's all about. But all those people stepped up. Mr. Lang, on top of sponsoring the event, has raised, and they're still telling me they're going to bring it tonight, but it was somewhere in the neighborhood of $3,500 they raised from different people, part of his business and all that. So
excellent money.
Absolutely amazing. We got one driver here from the firefighters from down South Florida. He said he's raised some like $2,300, and so they're going to be presenting that all tonight in the pre-race ceremonies. And I tell you what, it's just amazing what people do, and to have the turnout that we've had and this weekend, and we're so glad too that the mini cup driver guy was okay from last night. It was
yeah, it's quite an impact.
Serious crash, but he's okay. I talked to the family this morning, and that's what's important.
I tell you what, the staff here for the EMS and the paramedics, a phenomenal job.
They did a great job, and it was a serious. I mean, when you first got there, you really were scared, and it was serious. I stopped over on the front stretch while that was going on, and I just sat there and I prayed that he'd be okay. And I went down and talked to him and told him we were praying for him. And the great news is a broken wrist, and he got knocked around pretty good, but he's okay. And that's good.
That's kind of minimal injuries in stock car racing. But I tell you what, you did a phenomenal job. I tell you what, you invited us last year to do this, and it was a great charity event. This year seems to even be bigger and better and stronger.
Well, that's what we're going to do. We're going to keep building it every year. We had an auction last night. We didn't get to have one last year because we only had a couple items. We had quite a few items. We raised about $1,100 last night in the auction, so that went very well, and we're going to build on that. And we'll have an announcement at the beginning of the year that next year there's a TV deal that's going to come together that's going to make this even bigger. And so every year we're going to add. I had another gentleman who's part of Bob's Space Racers that they travel and do all the carnival games and rides. They're talking about bringing a deal and setting it up next year so we can do it, have games out there for everybody. So it's only going to get bigger and better. That's our goal, every year to get bigger and better. I'm going to file in the papers for a nonprofit charitable organization, so I'll be able to track bigger sponsors. So we're just going to keep making it as big as we can.
A phenomenal job, Rick Bristol, Truckers 200. He's the founder of this whole thing. This is the second year we're doing this, and I'm happy to be a part of it. Rick Bristol, can't ask for much more. You poured out your heart, your faith to all these families. Thank you very much.